I think we're live and welcome back, everyone. Manchester United won, Fulham won. Not the game we were expecting, not the game we wanted. It was a very, very disappointing game. So many things to talk about, from Bruno's missed penalty to Ruben Amorim, in my opinion, wanting to be sacked with the way he's playing this midfield, to again Sesko not starting, to Lenny Euro having an amazing performance. Forget the goal. Forget the goal. Um, the goal was important, but that's not why Lenny Euro was impressive. Lenny Euro had a fantastic game, and yeah, time to talk also to talk about the new goalkeeper. Um, just the updates that we've had from Fabrizio Romano so far. I know that Fabrizio this summer has not been on his top form, but Fabrizio is still the go-to man. So we're going to see what Fabrizio has said about the new goalkeeper. But yeah, before we even start, I just want to say thank you to Frederick. Once again, Frederick, your support for this channel is very much appreciated, bro. Another stream, another super chat. I think that's like 4 super chats in a row, and like 4 super chats in the last 4 streams. I appreciate you, Frederick. Thank you for your support, my friend. But yeah, that aside, let's talk about Bruno and his penalty. And it's more of the fact that it was Bruno. It's more of the fact that it was Bruno. You kind of expect Bruno to put those chances to bed. You kind of expect your main man to put those chances to bed. I know when I was watching the penalty, I was kind of saying to myself, that's Bruno, that's my guy. He's not going to miss this penalty. And I was completely wrong. Like, I'm not going to hop on Bruno too much for the missed penalty because it happened. The greatest players to have ever played this game have missed penalties. Bruno is more often than not consistent when it comes to penalties. He's more often than not gotten us out of tough situations. However, we can't ignore the fact that today was appalling. And, you can't help but wonder what the game would be like if Bruno had scored that chance. You think about the story of the game. You think about how things developed. You think about our second goal and the momentum that we were carrying with how well Cunha was playing in the first half. That goal would have really built momentum, and I feel like Bruno kind of robbed us off that. And I say Bruno robbed us off that because that was his penalty, that was his chance. You had them Wemby that could have also taken it. You had Cunha that could have also taken it. The ball goes to the main man, and as the main man, you have to put that chance behind the net. That's why you're the main man. A lot of the reason why I think Bruno is our captain, and a lot of the reason why I want Bruno to continue to be our captain, and why I think Bruno is the right man to be our captain, is because Bruno is also the guy that takes a lot of the responsibility in this team. That he's bailed us out so many times, but today he got us in a lot of trouble. And you think about the penalty that Bruno missed, and I said, I already forgive Bruno for that. Past that, it happens, you miss a penalty. But just Bruno's overall performance today was not there. Bruno's overall performance today was not there. I have talked about how I don't like this midfield setup, how this is more of a structural problem than anything. However, even though I am going to put some of the blame on Amorim as well, this is really a Bruno Fernandes problem today. He was extremely poor. In the final third, not as creative as you would want Bruno to be. At the beginning of the game, there was some good link up there between him, Casemiro, Mount, and Cunha. It was quite good. There's a lot of one-touch football, but then that faded as the game went on. And defensively, oh my God, Bruno was awful. Bruno Fernandes was awful today defensively. And yeah, that second goal, you kind of, the way Smith Rowe was able to just tuck in and get inside the box, you kind of begin to ask yourself, where are the midfielders? Where are the midfielders in this team? Who's tracking back Smith Rowe? And these are the questions that you kind of asked to Bruno Fernandes. Now, I also believe that a lot of these problems aren't just Bruno's fault. I think that, and we're going to talk about it definitely, I think that a lot of the problems in our team are more structural than anything, as I've said now for months. But Bruno needs to get some blame. If we're going to praise players when they play very well, we have to criticize players when they don't do so well. And today, Bruno Fernandes really struggled. I expected more, but I'm not going to spend too much time kind of criticizing Bruno because the game he played today was poor. The penalty he missed was a crucial penalty. Defensively, he wasn't really there. The link-up play he had does not justify or didn't really amount to anything, so doesn't really justify his overall game today. A lot for Bruno to take back and reflect on. Now, although I do believe that some of the blame should go towards Bruno Fernandes, although I think that Bruno Fernandes is to blame for a lot of, not a lot, but Bruno Fernandes, actually, to be fair, you could say a lot because he was involved in those two big chances. But the problem with this team, once again, falls in this midfield. And once again, I'll say it again, it is a structural problem. Ruben Amorim needs to give up this idea of a midfield pivot. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're asking your current personnel to do too much, to do things that they don't usually do. And that's how you end up in a situation where someone is meant to be tracking back Smith Rowe, the number 10 in the team, and he just gets inside the box pretty much because he wants to. No one is tracking him back. Defensively, overall, especially in the second half, especially in the second part of the second half, defensively, in the middle of the pitch, we were awful. When he took off Casemiro, I was looking at this team and I was like, wait, do we really right now have Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes as our midfield pivot? Two players who are final third specialists? What is Ruben Amorim doing? That's on Ruben Amorim. What is he doing playing Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount as our midfield pivot? I don't care if it's against Fulham. I don't care if it's against Liverpool. That should never happen. Those two players in the midfield pivot should never, ever, ever happen. And I'll say this again, Ruben Amorim needs to look at his players and find ways to maximize the players that he has instead of looking for ways to fit these different players into his system, because it's clearly not working. And talking about that, how is Kobe Mainu the player that fits the way you want to play the most in the bench? It hurt me. It hurt me last week seeing Kobe Mainu not get a minute of football. It hurt me even more today to not see Kobe Mainu get a single minute of football. And the main reason why I say that it hurt me not seeing Kobe Mainu touch the pitch today is because the way Ruben Amorim wants to play this box-to-box midfielders, this box-to-box midfield pivot that he has, Casemiro isn't the best option for that. Casemiro is more of a proper CDM. You know, Casemiro is good on the build-up play. He's good defensively. He's good at reading the ball, and he's like, we all know what Casemiro is good at. We've watched Casemiro from Porto to Real Madrid to his early years at United. Casemiro is not a box-to-box midfielder. Same thing for Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is not a box-to-box midfielder. Bruno Fernandes is a final third specialist. Bruno Fernandes today got caught out defensively a lot, also because you're asking Bruno to do too much. You're asking Bruno to do too much, and you're not maximizing him in the position where he thrives the most. In that attack that we currently have of Mbeumo, Cunha, Sesko, you need someone to link all those players. You need someone to be there and help those players find those spaces, find those players when they make those runs in behind. Get a good cross in for Sesko. Not one good cross was put in the box today for Sesko. That's where you need Bruno Fernandes to operate in that final third pocket. Instead, Bruno Fernandes is tracking back every single time. Instead, Bruno Fernandes having to get the ball from the centre backs. Instead, when we're trying to attack, well, Bruno's a little bit tired, so he can't go out there and give the same effort. This midfield does not work. And then you ask yourself, okay, we need box-to-box midfielders. We've got Kobe Mainu. We've got Kobe Mainu. Why is he not playing? Today, he should have taken Bruno Fernandes off the pitch. Bruno was not playing well. I understand why he didn't take Bruno off. Bruno is our best player. I completely understand why you don't take Bruno off. But at the same time, if you're going to be this super fair manager, why is Kobe Mainu not getting a game? Kobe Mainu is not... We've played over 180 minutes of football so far this season, and Kobe Mainu has not seen the pitch once. Kobe Mainu has not seen the pitch once. I'm telling you, Ruben Amorim, if he keeps on like this, he will get himself sacked. He will get himself sacked. I am all for backing the manager, but if he keeps trying to play this midfield pivot, he will get himself sacked because this midfield will not work. Aside from the fact that he does need another midfielder or two, because there just isn't enough midfield depth. there's not enough midfield depth to start off. But at the same time, the current structure Ruben Amorim has in this midfield, it's not good enough. The structure is not good enough, and his personal choice of personnel is like, what are you doing? I understand you want to play Casemiro and Bruno because they are two best midfielders, but Kobe Menu is arguably the best suited midfielder we currently have to play in that midfield pivot. Ugarte is he's too defensive, and Ugarte is not good enough on the ball. I remember saying this during preseason. Ugarte is not good enough on the ball, and people were like, "Well, what? Ugarte is good enough on the ball. He's not. Ugarte is not good enough on the ball. What Ugarte is best at is being a destroyer. Casemiro going forward." Is he better? Is he really better than Kobe Menu? I don't think so. He's not a better dribbler than Kobe Menu, and he's not a better link-up player than Kobe Menu. Kobe Menu is our most versatile midfielder, and he's sat on the bench. Now, just talking about, forget Menu for a second, just talking about more structurally, the best way to currently play our midfield would be in a 4-2, 3-1, or a 4-5-1, or a 4-3-3. However you want it, we need three midfielders. But at the same time, as we need three midfielders, we currently only have, pardon me, 5 solid options. Is Casemiro, Bruno, Ugarte, Mainu, and Mount. There's not enough depth in this midfield. We must sign another midfielder before the transfer window ends. And at the same time, Ruben Amorim needs to make sure he fixes the structural problem we have. He needs to stop playing with 2 midfielders. We need 3 midfielders. And if you're not going to play 3 midfielders, Kobe Mainu must play. At least feature in the second half. That's just disrespectful at this point. At least feature Kobe Mainu in the second half. At this point, it's just borderline disrespect. It is borderline disrespect, and I don't even know. I don't understand why Kobe Mainu is not playing any football. I completely do not understand. So here are the 2 things that the 2 things we need to do. One of them is a mission for the board. The other thing is a mission for Ruben Amorim. The board need to go out there and find another midfielder. If it's not Baleba, I don't care if it's not Baleba. We need another midfielder. In terms of numbers, we need another midfielder. And number 2, Amorim, this is going to be Amorim's task. Amorim needs to understand how to best maximize the player he has, because this pivot is not working. It's just not working. But anyways, let's move on. Because I was going to talk about Lenny Euro, but I just want to track back a little bit and talk about Sesko, because I don't understand what the problem is now with Sesko and why Sesko doesn't start. I genuinely do not understand why at the minute Benjamin Sesko is not starting for Man United. As a striker, it is so difficult for you to be impactful throughout the game. So the best way for you to be impactful is to get those chances, to get as many shots on goal as possible. Ruben Amorim is cutting in half, more than half, really and truly, Sesko's chances at being a competent striker. If Sesko doesn't play the first 60 minutes of the game, he now only has half an hour to try and be impactful. As a striker, that is a lot of pressure to try and create that much as a striker and for the team, because you're now asking Sesko to be in the right place at the right time every single time, and you're asking the team to create very quickly and a lot in a short amount of time. It is not fair for Sesko, and it's not fair for the players around Sesko to have to do it that much. What you do instead is you allow your striker to start from the start, and you allow him to miss. You allow him to take a few chances, because Sesko is the type of talent that he will put the ball behind the net. But as a rule of thumb, even Prime Ronaldo was taking 5 shots per game. Even Prime Ronaldo was taking a lot of chances, because that's how you score. That's how you score goals in this game of football. You take chances. You try and take, and you try and put as many shots. You try and take as many shots towards the goal. And currently, if you're only going to give Sesko half an hour, what is he meant to do? Why doesn't Sesko start? I don't understand why Sesko does not understand. My theory is Amorim knows this midfield is not good enough. And that's why he tries to compensate this midfield by playing Mason Mount. And that way, he gets a bit more versatility, and he also gives himself a little more leeway defensively because Mason Mount works fantastically off the ball. But as I said before, this is my problem. The structural midfield problem is going to get him sacked because of that midfield pivot. He's trying to compensate by having Mason Mount on the pitch. By having Mason Mount on the pitch, you don't play Sesko, you don't play the striker, and it is a Sesko problem, but it's also a striker problem because Fullham didn't play, Zexi did not play, Sesko did not play. You're not giving time to our strikers. How are they meant to gel with the team? How are they meant to develop? And how are they meant to take chances if you're only playing them for half an hour? The only caveat I'll give Ruben Amorim is that it's only been the first 2 games. But even so, you start your striker. You start your striker and you try and give him as many chances as possible. What you don't do is not start your striker, not allow him to develop with the team, not allow him to get as many chances as possible. You don't allow him to maximize the full 90 minutes. And then you say, okay, Sesko, go in, last 30 minutes, have some fun. What game plan is that? It's not a good game plan, especially because Sesko has not played with this team before. Like, you need to give Sesko enough time. Half an hour is not enough time. Next game, Sesko starts. I don't care. I don't care who we play next game. Sesko starts. Sesko must start next game. Sesko starts Zexi. I don't really care. But we need the striker to start next game. And the other reason why we need the strikers to start the game is because you're asking Cunha to do too much. Now, Cunha should have scored those chances now because when Cunha had 3 good chances at the start of the game and he didn't score any of them. So I do place some blame on Cunha. But at the same time, you're asking Cunha to do too much. Cunha plays best off the left, where Cunha is so good on the ball. If you think of the best dribblers, whether that's Neymar, whether that's Messi, Ronaldinho, you don't play them in the middle of the pitch. You play them on the flanks so they can beat their man, so they can go on and create something. When you play your most creative dribbler in the middle of the pitch, come on. Now he's got 2 centre backs to deal with and a CDM, and everyone else the striker attracts. You're taking Cunha off his element. Play Cunha on the left where he's able to beat his man, and by having a striker there, you allow either Cunha to then create space for Cunha, or then he's able to play balls towards Sesko. I don't understand why we're playing this amazing left winger we have as a striker, and we're playing this amazing striker we have off the bench. It makes no sense. Sesko must start the next game. Next talking point I have today. Oh, I'm on a roll today because this game just really annoyed me. Just really annoyed me the way we were playing today. Did not like it whatsoever. Next talking points. I was right about Lenny Euro. Now trying to put a little more positive spin into it. Pardon me. I was right about Lenny Euro. Lenny Euro has the potential to be the best centre back in the world. I'm not saying he's the best centre back right now, but I have watched a lot of centre backs over the years. I'm not going to make any comparisons because I know how you guys get, but Lenny Euro has everything there. Like, how calm he is on the ball. I was counting how many times Luke Shaw was passing the ball back. Every time Lenny Euro gets the ball back, he's always facing forwards. Lenny Euro, when he gets the ball, he's always looking, how am I going to play the ball forwards? I love that from a centre-back. And he has the ability, at 6'3", he has the ability to receive the ball and be very confident with the ball at his feet. Fantastic. In the air, much better this season so far. 2 games in, much better. I don't care about the goal. That was a good chance. But like, those chances are not what's going to happen to Lenny Euro more often. In the 90 minutes throughout a whole season, he might get a few of those chances. It's definitely a positive. It definitely came in clutch. We almost got 3 points because of that. But I'm talking about his overall game. And of course, that chance, I think it was on King. I don't remember which player it was from Fullham. They were pretty much free on goal. Lenny Euro was running behind them. He was beat. And Lenny Euro somehow gets one of the most beautiful tackles I've seen from a United centre-back over the last 12 months. Fantastic. He just puts his, like, The striker was here, Lenny Euro was behind him, and Lenny Euro somehow reaches and takes the ball off him. And that was the big chance because a lot of the time Ahmad was getting caught out or making silly mistakes, and Lenny Euro would just clean up for him. I love Lenny Euro. This game was awful. I did not like this game at all. I hated seeing Kobe Manu off the bench. I hated seeing Sesko not starting. I hated seeing this midfield pivot once again. I hated seeing Diogo Dalot play football, to be honest. However, Lenny Euro brought a bit of joy to my day. The goal was the icing on the cake, but his overall game from Lenny Euro was fantastic. By far today, our best centre back. We are very lucky to have Lenny Euro. I don't understand why he didn't go to Real Madrid because Lenny Euro at Real Madrid would definitely be a problem. We are very lucky to have Lenny Euro. We should all be grateful that we have such a young, excellent centre back in our team already. And I can't wait to see what Lenny Euro looks like in 8 years, in 7 years. It's going to be fantastic. When Lenny Euro is about 27, 28, it's going to be scary, the stuff he's going to be doing. He's a fantastic centre back. And today, once again, Lenny Euro showed his quality. Arguably, our best player on the pitch today. Our best player on the pitch today. I loved seeing what Lenny Euro was doing. Loved it. And going forward, I don't see how this kid doesn't start. But yeah, once again, Lenny Euro has world-class potential. He's not quite there yet. He's not quite there yet. I need him to be more consistently dominant in the air, and I need to see him. What's the thing? I need to see him cover. I need to see him trace back in those chances more often where he's beat by a striker or a winger and he's tracking back. I need to see that more often, and then we'll know if he's world class. Definitely, but he has all the potential. It's all there. Lenny Euro is fantastic, and I can't wait to watch him this season. And yeah, I'll just read a few of the comments right now. W post game reaction. Also, my United table finish prediction anywhere between 4th and 6th to 8th place. Yeah, to be honest, Frederick, you are much higher on United than I am. I think that we will finish between 5th and 7th. I feel like if we are very good this season, we might finish 5th. I don't think we finish above Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, City. I think that will be the top 4. And of course, you always know the teams that get in the mix. We saw how good Tottenham played against City the other day. So you never know if Tottenham are going to be in the mix or not. There's always a team in the middle, in the middle of the table that always come through. We've seen Leicester come through. We've seen West Ham. We've seen Brentford. We've seen Brighton. We've seen Aston Villa. We've seen Nottingham Forest. Every season, there's going to be a team in the middle of the table that takes that leap forward. So that will also be something to contend with. So I think between 5th and 7th is where we're going to finish. By the way, Bodo Gilmert won the first of 2 games in the Champions League playoff 5-0 this week. Just need to secure and win the next game on Tuesday, and they are qualified for Champions League football. Big thing for Norwegian footy. And bro, I was telling you about Norwegian football. It's things like this. It's when your home team begin to get into the Champions League and the players begin to develop. Your homegrown players begin to develop in the high standards. The World Cup is next year, and they already have Odegaard and Haaland. If the rest of the players can at least be competent, I can see Norway getting to the round of 16 at a push quarterfinals, but I could definitely see Norway being a dark horse in the next World Cup. True, maybe not Champions League footy, but maybe Europa League at least. We have a good thing going on in Norway. Yeah, Norway are definitely taking the right steps forwards. Now, to kind of finish my rant off before we go and rank these players, this is a comeback for last week. I get it. Yeah, Arsenal, get it off. We were awful today. Get it off. I understand. Arsenal fans, we were talking a lot last week. It's understandable. How much I would love to be an Arsenal fan right now. Anyways, Now, we all know how bad our midfield situation, not midfielder, our goalkeeper situation is right now. I just have Fabrizio's updates on my phone, so we can kind of look at it in a second. But yeah, I still think, especially after these first two games, even more especially after the game against Fulham, we need to get a midfielder in this team. That is a job for the that is a job for the board, and Ruben Amri needs to fix this team structurally from a formation standpoint because it's not going to work this season. That's a job for the manager. However, the goalkeeper has been a problem. Bender, every time I see this guy on goal, like my heart rate just spikes throughout the whole game. Every time we get a corner, even today, there were 3 times he done the same thing that he did last week against Arsenal, and he was lucky not to concede. Bender is not the guy. He's not good enough to be the first choice goalkeeper at United. Onana, I tried to back this guy so many times. I'm done trying to back Onana. If he needs to go, he's going to go. And now there's talks of Senne Lamens, the Belgian goalkeeper, coming to United. And if you watch his highlights, unfortunately, I'm not home yet. I promise you guys, I get home on Thursday. By Friday, that weekend, you're going to get a bunch of reactions of me reacting to Sen Lamens, Cunha, and all these other players. By the minute, I'm still not back home. So all you can get is a bit of a rant. But if you haven't watched him play yet, go watch it. People have made the hair comparisons. I wouldn't make that because David De Gea in his prime, best goalkeeper in the world. Best goalkeeper in the world. And if he wasn't the best, he was at worst 1B. David De Gea in his prime, if you don't want to pick him as the best goalkeeper in the world, he was definitely in that ST list, 1B, 1C. But he's with David De Gea was one of the best goalkeepers in the world in his prime. And we all know the impact that he's had at United. To go from that to Onana, who just makes mistakes as if there were nothing. And it's not just about mistakes. It's like his shot-stopping ability has just plummeted since he left Inter Milan. And we've had 2 years off that. Cannot happen. Then you try Bender, and he's completely, and he's very weak when it comes to corners, when it comes to just standing his ground as a goalkeeper. He wasn't that bad today against Fulham, but I still don't trust Bender. Lamens, on the other hand, looks like a very, very good shot stopper. And although Onana and both Bender are quite good with the ball at their feet, as a goalkeeper, your number one job is to stop the other team from scoring, especially in tight games. And that is something that both Onana and Bender have not done. And that is why we need a new goalkeeper. And this kid, Sen Lamens, looks like to be the option. And to be honest, Fabrizio, nothing concrete has been done yet. He says personal terms are almost agreed and that they're still talking to the team. So we need to kind of wait and see. I'm filming this on Sunday after the game against Fulham. If we sign him by Tuesday or Monday, please don't come for me, guys. But yeah, good developments. Hopefully we can get in a good goalkeeper. But I still say goalkeeper is important. I won't deny that. I won't deny that anymore. At the beginning of the transfer window, I said that the goalkeeper wasn't as important. It's definitely important. However, if we are going to sign a goalkeeper, we must also sign a midfielder. Amrin, as much as I think that our midfield problems are structural, he also needs more depth. He is also lacking depth in this midfield. And if we can do anything to help him in that department, will definitely be a step forward, because I am very scared for us to come for this team if we do not fix our midfield problems. But that's the end of my rant. Let's go to the player tier list. This is something that we've been doing over the last few weeks, and we're going to continue throughout the season as long as I can stream. We're going to rank these players up. I've added in Sesko and Ruben Amrin, the only 2 players that we're missing for this player post-game tier list. So let's get started. I will start with Maguire. I'll start with Bender. To be fair, he did concede a goal, but I thought he was quite solid in this game. He made quite, not quite. He made a few good, solid saves. He done his job. I still don't trust him on corners. We didn't consider the corner today, but what I was seeing from him, how quickly and easily he gets thrown off his line, is absolutely unacceptable from a goalkeeper. But overall, Bain did a 3 out of 5. He was solid. I can't. He's not at fault for the goal. There wasn't really much he could have done there. He was solid today. Dallo gets a 1 from me. And I'm going to be quite harsh on Dallo because we're seeing this from Dallo every single time. People on X were trying to put that goal on Bruno Fernandes, and fair enough, Bruno Fernandes needs to do a better job at tracking back. But that goal, if you see how that started, that's on Dallo. Once again, the ball goes to Dallo, and he doesn't know what to do with the ball at his feet. He loses the ball, and that allows Fulham to get a quick counter attack. And it's not just the goal; it's just overall. Like Dallo is not good enough. Diogo Dallo is not good. He's all right as a second option, someone you kind of can get in and plug him in from time to time. But Dallo is not good enough as a first option for Manchester United. He's not good enough. His ability with the ball at his feet is not good enough. And today it really showed. Offensively, providing absolutely nothing, and defensively, being a liability. I did not like what I saw from Dallo today, and I hope it changes. Because from what I saw today, it's out of the club. It's out of the club. That's how bad he was today. Mason Mount, 3 out of 5. Mason Mount is beginning to get a bit overrated. All these comments, oh, Mason Mount works so hard off the ball. I don't care. He's not providing enough on the ball. And I'll give him some bail because I think that is more Amorim's fault by trying to play Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount in the midfield pivot, which is just silly, to say the least. But at least with Mason Mount today, I didn't think that he made any crazy mistakes. I felt like where do you rank the coach? I'm gonna get to Ruben Amorim in a second, but since you guys asked, let's do it now. Ruben Amorim today, out of 5 from me, gets a 1. Absolutely shocking decisions from the manager today. I saw people saying, "Oh, this game today is not Ruben Amorim." Yes, I don't think that Ruben Amorim was at fault for us losing, but at the same time, I don't think he did anything special to help us win today. 3 main reasons. Number 1, Sesko must start. His poor excuse of "we're trying to embed the player into the team" needs to stop. You embed the player on the team, especially the striker, by playing him. 1, you're being generous. For me, he's a 0. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's actually funny. Yeah, but Ruben Amorim for me gets a 1. Not good enough. But as I was saying, Ruben Amorim gets the striker thing wrong. The midfield pivot, absolutely awful. There should never be a reason why we're ever playing Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes as a midfield pivot. And that was his choice because he took Casemiro off and he knew what was going to happen. That was absolutely his choice, and he tried to make that happen. Unacceptable. Number 3, he lets Kobe Mainu rot on the bench. What is that about? The only guy that's actually a proper box-to-box midfielder rots on the bench. Unacceptable. Puts on Dallo for whatever reason, and to me, Dallo is one of the big reasons why we concede today. Ruben Amorim, not good enough. I'm not saying sack the manager just yet, because managers make mistakes. Everyone in the club will make mistakes. But there's a difference between a mistake and you just continually trying to be stupid. The midfield pivot does not work. The midfield pivot does not work. The midfield pivot does not work. I'll keep saying that until he changes it. The midfield pivot does not work. And if you're going to play a midfield pivot, how does Kobe Mainu not get any minutes across 2 games? Unacceptable. And today, once again, I just feel like Amorim got it wrong. He got it wrong once again. Unacceptable. I did not like what I saw from Amorim today. How can you, as a coach, bring on 2 defenders when we're trying to score? I didn't even mention that because that was like towards the game. I just blocked that off my mind. Even Mourinho wouldn't behave that way. I don't know what Ruben Amorim was thinking about today. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Cunha today. If he was off the first 15 minutes, he'd probably get a four. But today, he gets a free because the first 15 minutes he was creating, then he kind of just went ghost. And bro, you have three big chances at the start of the game. You have to score one. Cunha gets three big chances at the start of the game. You have to score one, bro. Come on. Not good enough. Now, I don't think Cunha made any crazy mistakes, but come on, man, not good enough. And I trust Cunha. As I said this before, I think that Cunha is able to get at least 12 to 15 goals this season. And we've seen it across the first two games. He is creating a lot. But at some point, you have to put the ball behind the net. It's Fulham. We're playing against Fulham. Put the ball behind the net. Come on. A midfield pivot with Bruno can never work, even if you pair him with Prime Kante. I 100% agree. This midfield pivot is not working. It's not going to work. Every single fan can look at this team and say, that midfield is weak. Anyone can run through us. And he keeps playing it. Change the formation. It's not working. We proceed. Dorgu, solid. Dorgu is beginning to get a bit suspect with some of the stuff he does, but I just feel like he didn't make any crazy mistakes. Offensively, what I like about Dorgu is that he's trying. Dorgu is not that offensive fullback just yet, but Dorgu is trying, and I appreciate him trying. Defensively, he was solid. I don't really have anything negative to say about Dorgu. But at the same time, I don't have anything amazing to say about the Dorgu, which is a problem. So that's why he gets a free. Nothing amazing, but at the same time, not bad enough. Ugarte, 2. Ugarte gets a 2. Just not good enough on the ball. Defensively, where I think he shines, not destructive enough. Now, granted, today he kind of came into a very crazy game, so I can't blame him too much. But I'm really beginning to doubt Ugate's ability on the ball because it's just not good enough. He was meant to be the Casemiro replacement, and he's nowhere near Casemiro's level on the ball. Ugarte, not good enough on the ball. A 2, I know, is a bit harsh, but at the same time, name me one thing Ugarte done that was good today or amazing. Or even just, you know what, it is not there. Ugarte, not good enough. He gets a 2 from me. Casemiro. With Casemiro, I don't really blame him. I'll give Casemiro a 3 because I don't really blame him. There's nothing Casemiro can really do. Casemiro cannot be as destructive as he wants to because of the current team setup, and he can't really influence the team offensively as much as he's basically Casemiro and Bruno currently suffer from the same problem, and it's Amri's fault. They're both being asked to do too much, and then you're stretching both players out too much. Pause. You're stretching Casemiro and Bruno too much. You're asking them to do too much. So I'm saying, like, this midfield pivot is not going to work. Luke Shaw today gets a 2 from me. One too many times when Luke Shaw gets the ball and he's just trying to pass the ball back. Pass the ball back. Pass the ball back. Pass the ball back. And I know he's playing as a centre back and he needs to be quite tidy. But on the opposite side, you have Lenny Euro, who whenever Lenny Euro gets the ball, head up, trying to see what his options are. Luke Shaw, on the other hand, he gets the ball, play the ball back, play the ball back, play the ball back. I don't think Luke Shaw was bad defensively, but at the same time, when we had the ball, I just thought this guy is not doing enough. And it's really a shame because I especially from the game against Arsenal, I thought Luke Shaw was quite good. Normally, Luke Shaw is quite good on the ball, but today, not good enough. Gets a 2 from me. I'm going to be quite harsh on these players because I did not like a lot of what I saw. I don't think anyone, maybe Euro gets a 4 from me, but no one gets a 5. No one gets a 5 from me today. And Mbeumo gets a 3 as well. He was trying. But it's the same thing that we saw against Arsenal. Just Mbeumo trying. And, you know, his cross for the goal was quite fantastic. He was a fantastic cross and put in a very dangerous position. but just overall, and Mbeumo not quite there. Actually, you know what? For that pass towards the goal, I'll give him a 4 because that was quite a good cross. But at the same time, just trying, but nothing ever happens. Lenny Euro, my boy, gets a 4, almost a 5. If Mbeumo gets a 4 because of the assist, Lenny Euro very close to a 5, but gets a 4 because his overall game today was fantastic. Once again showing us why I believe the Lenny Euro is a world class talent. This is a world class player, someone who in a few years we can definitely point at and think, you know what, this guy has world class potential. He has the potential to be the best, one of the best midfielders in the world. Really liked what I saw from Lenny Euro today. Hopefully he can keep this up. Fantastic, all game on the ball, defensively, being impactful offensively. Fantastic from Lenny Euro. Actually, a 4 is unfair. He gets a 5. I'm listening to like defensively, he was sound. He made that key tackle where it was pretty much a goal. On the ball, he was solid. Offensively, he was impactful. Lenny Euro gets a 5 from me. De Ligt, solid, not as good as last week. I feel like De Ligt last week didn't step a foot wrong, especially because he was going against Gyökeres, and we saw what Gyökeres done this week and scoring 2 goals. De Ligt was very solid against Gyökeres last week, but this week, not really much done. I don't think De Ligt had a really tough assignment, but at the same time, getting caught out a few times. Not as impactful on the ball, not really his fault, but for all those reasons, he gets a 3 from me. He was solid, but not amazing. Bruno is the Portuguese trio today. Portuguese trio today for me, they all get a 1. Absolutely shocking from Bruno Fernandes. The penalty, you're meant to be our guy. I forgive you because it happens, but you're meant to be the guy. Overall game, not good enough. Defensively, very poor. But at the same time, not really his fault. But because of all these reasons, Bruno gets a 1, and it really annoys me it annoys me, it saddens me to see any player below a 4. At every single game, I want everyone to be either a 4 or a 5. To see these many players within a 3 and these many players at a 1 tell you how unhappy I am about today. And I hate putting our best player, the man who I believe is deservedly our captain, at 1, but today Bruno not good enough. Ahmad, I don't know. Ahmad gets a 3. I don't know why Ahmad came off. Actually, Ahmad gets a 2 because one too many times Ahmad lost the ball in key positions. I think there were both times he was able to trace back and recover, but nothing impressive from Ahmad. Even so, I don't know why he came off for Dalot, because Dalot was even worse. And finally, Sesko gets a 3 from me. Didn't really do much, but at the same time, what can you really ask Sesko to do? Actually, it's unfair. He gets a 2. He didn't do anything. Not his fault. Amri's fault for not playing him earlier, for not starting him in the first place. But Sesko didn't provide anything today. Sesko did not provide anything today. And I think that is everyone. Maguire. I'm not even going to rank Maguire because he came on to and Heaven. They came on too late. They didn't have an opportunity to actually be impactful. This is my tier list for the game against Fulham. Lenny Euro gets a 5 and Mbeumo gets a 4. Solid players today, not as good players today. And I feel like Dalot, Bruno, and Amri today were really poor. I feel like all 3 of them, shocking. But anyways, guys, very good stream once again. I appreciate the chat. I appreciate Huge Clouds. I appreciate my boy Frederick, of course. I appreciate VFV. I appreciate everyone that watched, that was in the chat. Frederick, of course, number 1 honcho. with the super chat. I appreciate everyone. Another weekend, another disappointing result from United. Hopefully next week will be better. Let me just check who we're playing next week. Next week we are playing. Oh, this is bad. Also, we're playing on Wednesday against Grimsby Town, and we're playing next Saturday against Burnley. We need to win. We need some points. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching this stream until the end. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. Do all those things to please help me grow this channel. And as per usual, I'll see you soon.